All right, here we go on this Tuesday, May the 20th. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here in the Extol Media Studios on what has already been a wet start across the area with some showers and thunderstorms moving through. Thankfully, not severe with this initial batch. And then we'll have a round moving in around lunchtime today that could pack a bit of a punch. We'll need to watch that as that moves in with a warm front. And then ahead of a cold front, we're going to have round three, that would be probably around 7, 8, 9 o'clock. So as we get towards sunset, that also could be on the strong to severe side. So we do have a risk of some strong to severe storms for today. And unfortunately, more rain than most of us would want as well, with many areas possibly picking up around 1 to 2 inches of rainfall today. So thanks for joining us here on Ben at 10 on this Tuesday. And we are going to be digging into the weather models as usual. Plenty to talk about here at the Extol Media Studios. You can always follow us, hit the like, subscribe on my Facebook, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather. We'll take a peek at the website here in just a moment as well. Do want to take a look at what we're checking out right now, which is showers and thunderstorms. I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen. And so we had this initial batch that's starting to move up to the northeast, moving out of our area. But look at that, right behind it, you've got some warm frontal action that's bringing in the next round of some rainfall. That's approaching Jasper right now. Not great weather today to try to get work done, to try to get any ball games in for later today. And as we take a look outside as well, we're going to see that it is still pretty cloudy, pretty gloomy out there. We had some pouring rain earlier this morning. It looks like the road's still just a little bit damp from that as we look here live from our Extol Media Studios in uptown New Albany, Indiana, at the corner of Market and Vincennes. So that's what we're looking at today. Just one of those days that's going to be busy with showers and thunderstorms across the area. The May showers, hopefully bringing some June flowers to our area. It is an incredible growing season, though. I mean, the grass and everything is growing like crazy across the area. And before we start to dig into the weather models, I do want to give a shout out to some of our partners, Ivy Tech Community College. You can go right to ivytech.edu, ivytech.edu. You just head over to locations to Sellersburg, and then there you're going to find a whole lot more information about the Sellersburg campus, the academic programs offered, the classes there in Sellersburg, partnership special programs. They partner with our local high schools around southern Indiana and getting folks a head start and also meeting them right where they are, no matter where they are in their career, to make that next jump, that next level. So thank you to the Sellersburg campus, Ivy Tech, and they've got Tuesdays with the Tech. You can get a one-on-one information there, how to pay for college, how to, and maybe just check out all of the different programs. There's 42 different programs offered there. Also, Lyons Roofing, they are very, very busy. They've been busy all spring long, and if you want a job opportunity, give them a call, 812-294-3595. They're going to be staffing up because of all of the crazy weather that we've had in southern Indiana. Again, that's 812-294-3595. New Wash, NWSB, newwashbank.com is where you can go. People, wherever you go, they've got locations all across southern Indiana. And through the month of May, we've been talking about this. It continues here. Plastic bags, paper bags, tote bags, backpacks, duffel bags, lunch bags. You can still take them through the month of May here to any NWSB location, and that will benefit Project Recovery. So thanks to NWSB. Also, Libs Paving, they are also looking for some help as well. So if you want a new career opportunity, head to libspaving.com. I talk with them just about every day about the weather, and they're such professional and kind people. Check them out if you want that opportunity, libspaving.com. There's a career section in the upper right-hand corner. And my buddy Brad Weddington, Weddington Custom Homes. This is weddingtoncustomhomes.com. And let me bring up this little photo of Brad here. I bring it up because tomorrow is Wednesdays with Weddington. He's going to be joining us. If you want to leave a comment, any question about home building, about any projects around the house, anything you might think of, we'll chat about it. We'll have a good time. So tomorrow morning, that is Wednesdays with Weddington. Again, that's WeddingtonCustomHomes.com. All right, we're moving along here, and I want to remind you all as well, if you'd like to partner up, become an advertising partner here in Southern Indiana, contact me, Ben at extolmagazine.com, Jason at extolmag.com. We've been averaging over 2 million views per month over the last 90 days, and of course, that means we want to thank you so much for continuing to tune in here, Ben at 10, and also a lot of the other posts we do on the social media platforms. Now we'll start to dig into that forecast. We're looking at a high of 78 today. So outside of the storms, it's going to be warm. It'll be humid. Dew points are high. That's a measure of the water content in the air. That'll feed some of the storms for today. South winds at around 10 to 20, and our sunset at 8:51 p.m., closing in on 9 p.m. sunsets. So be prepared. Get that rain gear ready to go. We got that next batch on the heels of that earlier morning batch of rain on the way. Just checking out some of the comments as well as we start to move through here. It's amazing. Beverly popping in number one almost every morning. Good morning to Beverly Hagist. And we have Connie Lichtenberg. Good morning. And thank you for tuning in. Happy to provide the updates. Carolyn Butcher says, thanks. Mary Dale, woo, made it. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for being here. Happy to be here. We'll do a tour of the radar here in just a second if you stay tuned. And we'll also take a look at the future radar and plan out the storms through the rest of today. Mike Sievert, good morning from Middletown. Good morning to you, Mike. Thanks for watching. Jeanette Pierce, good morning. Thanks for the updates as well. Barbara Haas, another day of drinking wine and watching the grass grow. I think Barbara's living the best life. I'm talking about golf and just enjoying the front porch, the back deck, whatever it might be. Thanks for watching here this morning. And hello to Ann Helm. We've got rain report here from Donna Toll in Elizabethtown. Thank you for that. And we'll take a look at your rain here in just a second. And Rita Harmon, good morning to you. Thank you all for being here on this Tuesday, May the 20th, on an active day today. So this is kind of interesting. We've got your midday lunchtime batch of some showers and thunderstorms. There's going to be soggy fields. A lot of games get canceled because just of how wet the fields are. There are some other sports, let's say the tennis courts dry out. Then maybe we'll be able to squeeze in a window of dry time, say mid-afternoon, late afternoon, before that third round of storms moves in, let's say around 7, 8 o'clock. So perhaps there is that window of dry time to try to squeeze in some of these matches, some of these ball games this evening, but it's going to be a close call once again. I was talking to a local athletic director, and he said, like, over the last 20, 30 years of being an athletic director, this has been one of the most frustrating seasons ever, thanks to the timing of the rain that we've been having and just the nuisance rain chances so many times this April and May. So there you go. We'll have midday lunchtime rain, window some dry time where we warm up to the upper 70s, kind of recharge the atmosphere a little bit before that early evening chance of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will be pretty nice in the 70s. And tonight, the storms will end shortly after sunset, and then we'll have maybe a leftover shower chance, but trending drier the later in the night we go. A low temperature of 61 degrees for tonight, and not much of a warm-up, by the way, tomorrow. As we look at the forecast for your Wednesday, May 21st, a 62 out the door tomorrow morning, and then noon, upper 60s and lower 70s for tomorrow afternoon. Pretty feel-good day, but as we head towards Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be tough to warm up the pool water. We've got a lot of 60s on the way. So tomorrow's looking dry. We get a little bit of a break here. Average high is 79 for tomorrow's date, so our temperature's trending about 7 degrees below normal for this time of the year. And then our 7-day forecast, only 65 on Thursday, maybe a couple light rain showers in the afternoon, and then upper 60s on Friday and more upper 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Kind of looking like almost a fall-like feel or earlier in the springtime feel as we're going to be trending a good 10 to 15 degrees below normal for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lower 70s for Memorial Day and a chance for some showers around early next week. So beyond our chances of showers and thunderstorms today, a little light rain chance Thursday afternoon, mostly dry Saturday. But Sunday morning with the European weather model and the GFS weather model looking pretty wet right now. It looks like a pretty decent batch of rain moving through around that time. So our weather pattern remains a bit unsettled, a little cooler than many of us would like to. We have Judy Tyndall. Good morning from Cloverport. Thanks for watching. And also a comment coming in from Patricia Spriggs. Good morning. We've had loud thunder all morning. Really like this weather. Have a great day. There we go. There's some positivity. Some of us like the stormy weather. So as we look at it right now, let me go ahead and bring that back out. We're going to bring this back up and take a look at the current radar and satellite. So we had a morning batch move through. Batch number 2 on its heels associated with a warm front. And as you can take a look outside as well, and you can see that the clouds have not cleared, still pretty cloudy. Now, sometimes if we get these showers and thunderstorms to move through, they can stabilize the atmosphere. However, there's pretty good dynamics throughout the day today. By dynamics, I mean you've got the warm, moist air, you've got jet stream energy. It's enough we need to pay close attention to what's going on today in case there are any watches or warnings. So there we were talking about a little bit of a break right now between rounds of storms, but if you look off to the comment we had earlier there in Elizabethtown, we've got the light rainfall now. You can see heavier rain moving into Grayson County and around Litchfield that is heading towards the Elizabethtown area. And then in southern Indiana, you've got more steady rain moving into Du Bois County and areas out to the west of New Albany and Louisville right now. So just a little bit of a break at the moment. I'm going to bring this out of the full screen mode and pull up our live radar scans. And then we'll switch into our future radar here in just a second as well. And as we always do, we'll look at the HRRR, the HRRR weather model. We will check out the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. We'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center and plenty to cover for today. So out ahead of this next line, this is a warm front lifting into the area. It does have a decent amount of energy. I'm not going to be surprised if over the next couple of hours we start to see some bigger storms starting to bubble up despite having some of those storms early this morning moving through. So in Louisville, you've got this shower right down Bardstown Road. That's Fern Creek to Butyl. That's just popped up here recently. Mount Washington, northeastern Bullitt County, shower there. In southeastern Shelby County, a little cell too. And then again, this is our higher resolution live radar scan. So you can see the rain coming down now in Jasper and Du Bois County, starting to spread a little bit of light rain towards French Lick into Orange County, Indiana, and some sprinkly activity around English and Leavenworth. And then off to the south, you've got some of the heaviest rain that we're seeing right now moving towards Litchfield, down the Western Kentucky Parkway, around Rough River and Grayson County, and into parts of Breckinridge County and western Hardin County, just west of Elizabethtown. You can see that rain starting to pick up in your direction right now. All right, so if you want to play along here, you can go to extolmag.com/weather, extolmag.com/weather. You're going to find interactive radar here on the right side, also your short-term forecast. Then as you go down, the 7-day I just posted, and then the weather story for today that I posted this morning too, which has some extra weather maps, a little more detailed discussion of what's happening weather-wise across the area for today, no matter what that weather story might be. But a couple rounds of storms for today is the weather story that I've posted. You can see some of the maps that I'll show you here in just a second as well. And then a look at the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather risk for today and also the tornado outlook for today. And then some more extra maps there for you as well. So there is a tornado risk today, unfortunately. So we'll need to be prepared for that. There, we may end up with a tornado watch at some point this afternoon and into the evening time. So that threat is there. There's also maps linked up here at extolmag.com/weather to the day 1, day 2 severe weather risk. Any severe weather watches or warnings will be up there. Storm reports, your regional radar, which can pop up right there. That'll also have any warnings that are out with it. And if you got any traffic or any travel, you can look at maybe any traffic trouble with the NDOT page. Dozens of local weather cams. Looks like most of our routes are looking green and good across the area, and with all the rain, this has been a super green season too. So this is looking at 265 at Green Valley Road. You just click on it, and then they'll typically pop up, and there you can see the live cam and any traffic you want to take a look at there. All right, moving on down, there is the interactive radar, and look at the current temperatures. I can plot the lightning strikes too if we start to get some lightning. As we just saw on the other radar view, there's this shower near Mount Washington and Fern Valley, Fern Creek, I should say. More storms lining up off to the southwest. If there's an icon, you can click on that icon. That'll become a storm track, and it's going to pop up towns in the way, the timing that'll move into your town. So this one says moving into Cecilia in about 10 minutes, Elizabethtown in about 20 minutes, into Lebanon Junction in about 30 minutes. Storm speed northeast about 38 miles per hour. Maximum rainfall rates about 3/4 of an inch per hour. You can literally be your own meteorologist right there, just clicking on the storm tracks. And you can back up the view, look at the weather across the United States. Easy to get to, easy to use interactive radar with just a ton of tools. You can put up the wind speeds as well. Looks like we got generally a south wind right now, picking up to around 12 miles per hour in Springfield, Kentucky. So there you go. Now we are going to take a look at the interactive, the live radar sweep here, their weather graphics, and we'll transition into our weather model data. And we've got Lillian Lasley tuning in this morning. Thanks for watching there. I believe Lillian's out of Grayson County, where you are getting some of the heaviest rainfall there. There you can see some of that really heavy rain northwest end of Litchfield as we do the super zoom there, and then heavy rain over Rough River and into Breckenridge County. Also a bunch of heavy rain in that direction. Moving right along on our Ben at 10 on Tuesday morning, May the 20th. Time to bring up our futurecast and time to start to dig into all the dirty details of today's rounds of strong to severe storms, potentially. So today, most of southern Indiana is under level 2 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. Areas along and south of Interstate 64 under an enhanced risk, that's level 3 out of 5. And as we put up the tornado risk, the 10% hatch mark, that means if you put down a point, 25 miles around that point, there's a 10% chance of a strong tornado. That is a 5% chance over southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. If there is a chance, again, what we do and how we plan should not change, even if these levels go up or down a little bit. Same reaction, same family plan ready to go, knowing that safe place. We went through this Friday, and just kind of be ready for that. Not kind of, be ready for that for today as well. So that risk of tornadoes, strong tornadoes possible, a bit higher in Kentucky than southern Indiana. And then that threat is also up there as well for Tennessee, northern Alabama, and northern Mississippi. As far as the probability of hail, it is greatest along the mid-Mississippi Valley. That's from like Cape Girardeau down to Memphis. But still a big swath of yellow. That indicates a 15% chance of large damaging hail. And then the damaging wind threat, straight line winds, again, a bit lower in Indiana. That is the 10%, 15% area, I should say. 30% over much of Kentucky. And then you get down to south central Kentucky and into Tennessee. That's where it's all the way up into the almost half chance, almost a 50% chance that you could get damaging wind gusts in that area. So the farther north you go, you start to get out of that severe weather threat. The farther south you go, if you have any travel down 65 later today, we got round 1, kind of midday, lunchtime, round 2, as we head towards sunset. One's with a warm front, one's out ahead of a cold front. All right, looking ahead to the timing of all of this, which is what most of us are interested in. So this is the NAM 3 kilometer. We can just compare and contrast. They did pretty well. If we think back to last Friday, it does have this next batch moving in as we speak. So this is stopped here at 10 o'clock and then moving ahead to, it says 10:20 right now. I would say it's maybe slightly delayed in this next batch moving in. So this is noon. Perhaps this passes through a little bit more quickly than it shows. This is around 1 o'clock because it's maybe a half hour, hour behind what we're actually seeing on the radar. This is at 1 p.m. We'll move this ahead to 2 o'clock. And I mentioned on the play ball forecast earlier that while it may not be 100% dry, there could still be some pockets of some showers at any point today after we get this round, midday round. It does look like we'll have some dry time, like mid-afternoon, late afternoon, like let's say 3 to 7 o'clock today. That also recharges the atmosphere if we get some sunshine, talking upper 70s, near 80 degrees, got a lot of humidity out there. This will be ahead of the final round of storms today. So here we go at 4 o'clock. There's 5 o'clock. And then the storm's starting to explode here as we head toward evening time. This is 7 p.m. And then here is 8 o'clock. So we're going to have to watch out for these clusters of potentially damaging storms later today. This is 8 p.m. And then heading towards 9 p.m., that's our sunset. And southern Indiana should be quieting down pretty quickly after sunset. That threat lingering a bit longer for areas east of I-65 in Kentucky. This is 9 p.m. And then 10 p.m. It looks like that threat diminishing for all of our area. Let's go ahead and I'm going to back this up to like right around 4 o'clock. And I wanted to take a quick peek at some of the ingredients. So this is the dew point. And this is crazy. It's showing dew points in the upper 60s, low 70s. This tropical air is basically what we're talking about here. It is air you can wear. It is sticky stuff out there. Like midsummer almost dew points across the area. So that's our dew points. And then we look at the convective available potential energy. Good morning to Sarah Humphreys. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Thank you for the good mornings. I'm going to move to the most unstable Cape. This is at 4 p.m. If you've been watching, if you've been paying attention to these pre-storm events, we show you the Cape, the storm fuel. Looking at the ingredients here, there is plenty of it as we recharge this the atmosphere later this afternoon, showing around 3,000 joules per kilogram. You get over 1,000, that's plenty. This is just really juiced up later on today with the convective available potential energy out ahead of the cold front that'll be moving through. And a lot of times it's very easy to find the cold front as we go to like 8, 9 o'clock because you're going to see the shutdown of the available potential energy behind that front. And a lot of times you'll see a pretty sharp line. There you can see that front out to the west. And then let's bring up the low-level jet, and then we'll get to the HRRR weather model here in just a second. 850 millibar winds. I'm going to go with the round 1 storms and then round 2. This is at about 5,000 feet. This would be looking at a low-level jet. This can power bow echoes. It can add strength to supercells. It's a big ingredient for severe weather. So it's showing a good low-level jet overhead. So that sustains storms. It can be a kicker to get storms up. We've got plenty of jet energy as well as the unstable air. We've got that combo of some severe weather ingredients. As we go 7, 8 o'clock, we're looking at, again, do we still have some of that jet energy? This is low-level jet. And then I'm going to go to 8 o'clock right here, push it forward when those storms were right overhead. Still enough to sustain storms, not as potent as like the midday low-level jet. So we may see these storms here over the next hour or two strengthening as they move through with that low-level jet. We'll be nowcasting. We'll be watching it very closely here through the afternoon at Extol Media Studios. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop in the HRRR weather model. We'll compare and contrast. And I'm going to bring up, it's going to show basically the same low-level jet. It's around noon, 1 o'clock today. And it is also showing some strong winds aloft. Again, that's about 5,000 feet. And let's bring up the reflectivity. That is your future radar that you're used to looking at. And let's see how it is picking up. I think it's picking up on the showers that we have out there now a bit better than the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. Take a sip from Big Happy here. And now it's time for the HRRR weather model. Here we go. This is 10 a.m. We're going to go to 11 o'clock. And this is at noon today. So these could be on the strong side. We're going to have to watch these guys as they move through here. These are our lunchtime storms. And perhaps getting a bit stronger in Kentucky than Indiana with this. I would call it round 2 because we had the early morning round of showers and thunderstorms as well. When we start to see those brighter colors of pink and almost like a white and gray, that would indicate a supercell with the potential of damaging winds, maybe a spin-up tornado and large hail. This is 1 p.m. today. So these storms ramping up as that low-level jet comes in, starting to warm up a bit. Those ingredients coming together a bit more as we head towards lunchtime, early afternoon. Let's push this to like 2, 3 o'clock. You can see that heading towards Lexington at around 2 o'clock. And then we get that midday break. I would say mid-afternoon break. Mid-late afternoon, still, it looks like we'll have a little bit of a lull in the activity. While there still could be a pop-up shower or storm, we got a break from round 2 between that and round 3. That would be towards sunset. Both of the weather models have shown that. So this is at 4 o'clock. So school's getting out. Can we get that ball game in? Well, a lot of the fields are going to be probably too wet. Will there be a watch out? How quickly will the next round come in? A lot of questions that will need to be answered if things don't get canceled later today. This is at 5 p.m. You've got that round 2, our lunchtime storms heading over the Appalachians. They're heading into West Virginia and out of Kentucky, 6 p.m. And then we start to see that last round ramping up after likely seeing some sunshine later on today. You know, on a severe weather potential day, you don't want to see that sunshine. That adds fuel to the storms. Here we go, towards 8 p.m. Both weather models were showing a few of these lone storms in southern Indiana. You don't want discrete supercells. Those can be spinners. They can put down those tornadoes. We'll have to watch that potential in southern Indiana. And then they were both showing that higher threat in Kentucky. Notice the Storm Prediction Center also, since yesterday, has had the enhanced level 3 out of 5 severe risk in Kentucky, kind of along and south of I-64, where the higher tornado threat as well. That's where we see this huge blob of storms firing up at around 8 p.m. Push this to 9 o'clock. So this weather model in particular, this is the HRRR weather model, the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh weather model, has kind of the counties along the Ohio River and south into Kentucky under the gun here with the potential of strong to severe storms with that third batch. And I say 3 batches because we had the early morning showers and thunderstorms, kind of garden variety stuff moved through earlier today, our midday round, and then the final round around sunset. So this is at 10 p.m. And then after 10 p.m., that stuff that you see back behind moving through southern Indiana, I would not think that that would be severe. That would just be some leftover showers as that front moves through. But the atmosphere should by that time have been churned up enough that anything after sunset, the severe weather threat diminishing pretty rapidly. Sunset is at 8:50, so I'm saying, after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time period, severe threat going down rapidly. That is good news for us, as nocturnal events are a lot more dangerous. We saw that late Friday night into early Saturday morning with the tragic event in southeastern Kentucky around London and Laurel County that took way too many lives because it came through during the overnight hours. So this does not look like an overnight event. We've got afternoon and evening storms. Robin Edwards, I've got to be somewhere at 12:30. We will have the chance of storms moving through around that time. All right, so that is stopped there at 2 a.m. We'll start to gradually trend drier through the overnight hours. And I'm just backing this one up. I'm going to show you. This shows wind gusts. Sometimes it doesn't pick up really good on storm winds, but sometimes it doesn't do a bad job. And this is going to be kind of random. Don't like overanalyze this, and if it's over your area, this is just showing you the potential around the region, really. And this is showing a storm with, over 50-mile-per-hour gusts possible. That's at 1 o'clock. So the storm's kind of ramping up around lunchtime here over the next couple of hours, especially in Kentucky. This is showing the potential of, kind of almost like a bow echo. That 60-mile-per-hour wind, that would be a severe thunderstorm warning right there. This is 2 p.m. today. And then let's jump ahead to that 8 o'clock batch and see what, some of the wind gusts that it's showing. Notice the trend here, long and south of 64, a little bit higher threat of these damaging wind gusts. That's showing over 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. That's kind of an interesting shove of the potential severe winds into portions of southern Indiana, as this is at 9 p.m. That's showing 65-mile-per-hour winds there. So the potential of severe wind gusts, and then after 9, 10 o'clock again, that severe wind gust threat should be diminishing pretty rapidly. As we lose some of that daytime heating, we've already churned up the atmosphere quite a bit. So there we go with that. All right, that is the timing of it for today. And certainly if you have any questions, drop in the comments. We will get to them. Again, that threat of severe weather for today from the Storm Prediction Center, level 2 and level 3 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. And that is a look at the damaging wind threat. Notice it gets higher as you go south, a little bit lower as you go north. And then this is the overall severe weather threat, level 2 and 3. Yellow is level 2. That's called a slight risk of severe storms. That covers most of southern Indiana, and then switches into a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather from Louisville and points to the south. Now, as we start to go toward our Ben on a limb portion of the show, meaning we're going to look at the long-term forecast and take a look at the rain chances for the rest of this week. Into next week, we're going to put it all back together into the long-term forecast in our 7-day in just one moment. So let me go ahead and bring up the Climate Prediction Center. And there you go. So this is the 6 to 10 day outlook, heavily favoring a cooler than normal outlook for us. So that's not ideal as we head into Memorial Day weekend. I know folks have plans to head to the lake or open up the pool. We're looking at highs in the 60s, low 70s, about 10 to 15 below normal for the middle of this week and into early next week as well. JKs, thank you for tuning in here this morning. As we bring up now the GFS weather model, we'll take a quick look at the future radar with it. And then we'll kind of take a look at the peak of the temperatures here as we are now at 10:35. We are zipping along here on this Tuesday morning. All right, reflectivity. We are going to jump ahead. So tomorrow's the 21st. We're going to jump ahead to the 22nd. So tomorrow's looking dry. We'll start here at 11 a.m. Thursday morning, May the 22nd. So we got this trough of low pressure off to the east, and it looks like we're going to be close enough to that we might squeeze out a light rain shower. Maybe like a sprinkle light rain shower for Thursday afternoon. But not a big deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and go to the 23rd afternoon. It is looking mainly dry across the area. It's kind of showing a sprinkle off to the east, northeast. Going into our 24th, Saturday. Saturday's been trending with a good chance of rain to our southwest. The European weather model was the same, trying to keep that rain southwest. So heading into our Memorial weekend, 5 p.m. Saturday, keeping it southwest. We want that trend to continue. And then it showed kind of a small chance of some showers Saturday evening. We'll see how that plays out. All right, active unsettled weather continues. Now we're going to head into our Sunday morning. Look at that. The Euro and the GFS is giving us a wet Sunday morning. Stephen Goody saying, still raining in Breckenridge County. Does that hurt the severe weather chances around lunchtime? I think for you, yes. I think those storms could start to fire up stronger east of I-65. So that could be a good thing for this round 2 for you, but we all need to be extra weather aware again for that final round as we get closer to sunset. This is our Sunday. So Sunday could be a bit wet, especially in the morning time. I'm going to pop ahead to the 26th. So that is heading into Memorial Day itself. And it shows a few showers around there at 11 a.m. Thank you for the question, Stephen. And then we'll get back to live radar. We'll do a tour of the radar here in just a second, and then we'll wrap it up with the forecast. This is 5 o'clock Monday, so hopefully maybe just a couple showers around for Memorial Day. Looks like lower 70s. This is 8 p.m. Memorial Day, and then 11 o'clock. So it's just really hard in this weather pattern to get an all dry day. This is the 27th, so early next week. And look, it just looks kind of weird and showery over the eastern half of the United States. And the reason it looks weird and showery, let me go all the way back here to like today or tomorrow. I'm going to bring up real quickly before we get back to the radar, the jet stream winds. We're going to go up to like 500 millibars. It's like 18,000 feet. Heart of the jet stream, that's up around 30,000 feet. So look at the jet stream as we take a farther zoom out. Cutting right across the central United States. The jet stream is the storm highway. It's going to bring active weather. And if it stays over us through the rest of the month, we're going to stay unsettled. Some of the data was showing even in the first week of June, the jet stream could still park over the area. If we want to get into that quieter summertime pattern, we need the jet stream to lift up into Canada and stay there and try to stay there basically all the way through September. And then October, November, the jet stream starts to come back down as we head into the next transition season, which is autumn or fall. So let's go back to the jet stream. I'm going to take this all the way to Friday, Saturday, and see. Let's take a look at where the jet stream is. Still over us. And taking that dive, that trough over the eastern United States, We'll take this into next week, 26th, 27th. Jet stream still over the midsection of the United States. It's going to keep us in a fairly unsettled weather pattern. It is going to stay very green. And Rudy Dones, great info. Thank you. Thank you for watching here. Hoping it's helping. So yeah, moral of the story here, jet stream, active weather pattern, possibly next 2-3 weeks. And I know that's not ideal. All right, we're going to take a look outside and we're going to look at the live radar as it pops up as well. There's the gloomy, cloudy conditions with this next batch of rain moving into our area right on the heels of the early morning batch of rain that we just had move through the area. So this is the live radar scan out of KLVX, Louisville's radar. So there was that shower that was over Fern Creek in Louisville, now moving into Oldham County around the Crestwood area. Otherwise, as we look through southern Indiana, we're going to have rain approaching I-65 here pretty soon. There you can see pretty wet once again over Lawrence County, Indiana, around Bedford. Some of that light rain spreading into southwestern Jackson County, just southwest of Medora, and into Orange County. Starting to see that light rain move back into Paoli and French Lick and Orleans, some heavier pockets in south central Orange County, and then into Crawford County. Around English, you've got some pretty good rain coming down and off to the northeast of your area. Some of that rain starting to come down now in the areas west of 135 in Harrison County, Indiana. Perry County is wet. Du Bois County is wet. Over the river we go into Brandenburg, and the heaviest rain and thunderstorms currently coming down eastern Breckenridge County, I should say, and into western Hardin County. So that is a look at 1357 westbound out of Elizabethtown. There you can see that heavy rainfall there. And we're going to watch these storms as they cross I-65 and see if they strengthen. Hopefully, they will behave. So this is kind of our round 2 as we are before 11 o'clock. But if this moves out quickly enough as we bring up the radar and satellite, that's going to set the stage for heating right back up through the afternoon, giving us plenty of time before that, let's say 7, 8, 9 p.m. round 3 of showers and thunderstorms. That one might be the one we need to watch, especially in Kentucky. This is the radar and satellite. And we see basically west of the Indiana-Illinois state line, a big clearing out here. So this is what would recharge the atmosphere for later on today, out ahead of some energy that's going to head our way in the form of a cold front. So yeah, busy weather day today, and as we look at it right now, hitting too many buttons at once. Let me get rid of the telestration. So this was our early morning stuff moving out to the northeast. We've had a little bit of a break in between. We've got this round 2 area here. Right now that's worse to the south. There's actually a tornado warning in southwestern Tennessee from that. If that starts to blossom in Kentucky east of I-65, we'll need to watch that. It doesn't look all that impressive in southern Indiana with this midday round yet. And then we've got that clearing out to the west, and then our 7, 8, 9 o'clock action that we could have. JK's popping in here. Thanks for sharing all the extra data that you use to make your forecast. Yeah, it's fun to put it together. And we can analyze it right here, out ahead of the event. Lily and Lasley, have an awesome day and stay safe. Michael Montgomery there out of Mount Washington, thanks for tuning in here. Great photographer, weather enthusiast. All right, let's get back to the forecast. And then we'll start to wrap up our Ben at 10s. We're at 10:45, zipping along on this Tuesday morning. All right, so today's high, 78. Now, if we get a longer break of some sunshine, that could pop to 80. It's going to feel humid out there. There's the potential for some severe storms, especially around 3, give or take around 8 p.m. So warm and a bit breezy. South winds around 10 to 20. Our sunset at 8:51. And so that play ball forecast, it's a little sketchy. There could be, a pop-up shower storm between the 2 rounds. But I think we do have our driest period of time today, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Might be able to sneak in a practice or a ball game, but the fields are going to be pretty wet. It's kind of touch or go as far as the ball games this evening. It'll be on the humid side, temps in the 70s, and then watching out for teams that have to drive home. Sometimes that can be an hour or 2 drive. You don't want to be driving in those storms, say after 7 p.m. And then tonight, 61 degrees, storms ending not long after sunset, maybe a leftover lingering showers. The front moves through and then drying out during the overnight period. West wind at around 5 to 10, sun up at 6:27 tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's forecast, we got 60s in the morning time and top out only around 72. It is going to be a breezy day, I want to mention, for your Wednesday. That wind's going to be coming in from the west at about 15 to 30 miles per hour, so a bit of a blustery, cooler day for Wednesday, but it looks dry for tomorrow. I know a lot of companies that do outside work are just trying to get in an all dry day. Luckily, yesterday was dry. So then a few light rain showers possible Thursday afternoon. That looks like our coolest day, a high of 65 down to the upper 40s Thursday night. Furnaces might be kicking back on Thursday night. 68 Friday. Friday's looking mainly dry, and Saturday looks mostly dry. I've got a 20% chance more for Saturday evening. And then it looks pretty wet Sunday morning. We'll be fine-tuning that over the next couple of days. We fine-tune those Memorial Day weekend forecast details for you, and a few showers could linger early next week with lower 70s Monday and Tuesday. And typically we get a 90-degree day by May 31st, but we haven't been all that close to that yet. I think the warmest so far is 86. And Robin asking, when will the weather radios come back? I'm not sure what you're meaning by that. Have a weather radio ready, fresh batteries just in case power goes out. Always good to have that backup in case your cell phone goes out as well. Some people forget to charge the cell phones. I had a friend of mine comment about that. Are all the cell phones charged, ready to go? Sometimes when you're working all day, you've been talking all day, you've been scrolling all day, you look at your power and you're like, ugh. You're down to like 10 or 20%. So try to keep those phones charged up for those alerts later on today. Thankfully, we're not talking about a nocturnal event, meaning late overnight. Looks like that severe weather threat should diminish pretty rapidly, I would say, after around 9 to 10 p.m. Oh, I got you. Debbie Best. Noah is doing weather updates and will be down all week. Yeah, I haven't seen information about that, but I'll try to comment back if I find some information about that. Good to know for sure, though. All right, another peek outside here as it is. We're 48 minutes into our Ben at 10. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching that later today. Feel free to drop in a comment if you have any questions for me later on today. I'll try to take a look at those comments later on today. And just a couple resources here for you throughout the day. This is your interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. Get your 7-day forecast. You've got the weather story that I posted there. And I'm just taking a peek at any last minute comments as well. This is always fun to look at too. If we ever have storms coming through, you can look at the fallsoftheohio.org webcam. Falls of the Ohio Foundation that scrolls kind of off to the east and to the west. And a shout out to our partners as we wrap things up here, ivytech.edu. You can head to the Sellersburg location, really easy to use website. You got student services, information about tuition and aid, all about Ivy Tech. The programs, over 42, right now 42 programs offered at the Sellersburg location. Lyons Roofing, give them a call if you're looking for a job opportunity this summer beyond, perhaps a new career, 812-294-3595. And also NWSB, newwashbank.com. People you know wherever you go. Stop into a branch. They are super friendly folks, and they are helping out the community too. Project recovery, accepting bags at any location, plastic bags, paper bags, tote bags, backpacks, duffel bags, and lunch bags. That is NWSB. Also a career opportunity for you. You can just go to libspaving.com, go to the upper right-hand corner, click on that careers, and they've got a general application there. And they are the top asphalt paving contractor in the region. So go there. And tomorrow, we're going to be showcasing Wednesdays with Weddington. If you have any projects around the home, any questions for Brad Weddington, local custom home builder, you can go to weddingtoncustomhomes.com, learn more about Brad and his services, his company. He built my house about 11 years ago. Super happy with Brad and all he provided for us. And just chime into the conversation for tomorrow. And I'll put a post about that later on today. If you put in a comment, we'll get to your question like we did 2 weeks ago. So every couple of weeks, checking in with Brad Weddington with Wednesdays with Weddington. All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up here on this Tuesday, May the 20th. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that was some helpful information for you to time out another severe weather threat for today. Please do take it seriously. Just stay alert. Be ready to seek shelter if a warning is issued for your area. We've got this midday batch. Doesn't look too bad right now, but let's pay most attention likely to our 7, 8, 9 o'clock batch later on today. All right, be safe out there, and we will see you tomorrow on a much calmer day on Ben at 10, Wednesday morning at 10 a.m.